I'm Sarah Woodbury, and I'm here today at Vale Royal Abbey to talk about my new book, Herald, the fourth book in the Welsh Guard Mysteries.
So Sarah, you have a book coming out on April 19th called Herald in the Welsh Guard Mysteries, the fourth book.
The fourth book in the Welsh Guard
series?
Mysteries, yes.
And just so happened we were going to be in the UK, and so we came to the site where the book is set.
Right, and that's
where we are right now.
We're at Vale Royal Abbey, which was a 13th century abbey ordered built by Edward I. It was meant to be his spiritual seat on earth, let's just say.
Look, danger, deep mud.
All right, well, there would be. See, honestly, that looks like the water source for obviously for the manor house, but they dug channels from the River Weaver for the abbey, both in and out. That was the point. So the abbey was moved from its initial location because there wasn't enough water to support a community. Vale Royal was founded by King Edward I for a community of Cistercian monks. The abbey was located on the left bank of the River Weaver in the heart of Cheshire. The abbey had a tumultuous history, culminating in its dissolution in the 16th century, where it fell into private hands. The church itself was razed to the ground, along with most of the abbey buildings. All we have left today are a few remains, primarily from the south and west sides of the cloister. These include the abbot's house and the monk's dining hall and kitchen, which together became the core of the new manor house. The thing about Vale Royal and what prompted me to set a book here was how much I like writing novels about obscure events in history. And the obscure event that instigated this decision to set a book at Vale Royal Abbey is that King Edward decided to melt down the seal of Prince Llewellyn with silver and turn it into a chalice, which he then presented to the abbey as a gift. If that isn't interesting enough, the abbey itself has this incredible history of intrigue and corruption and bribery and even murder, which makes it a really terrific place to set a mystery. So we are walking a path between Hertford, which is a Saxon village in Cheshire, and Vale Royal Abbey, which is the Norman abbey built by King Edward. This is a path that would have been taken by my characters. Well, I have my characters taking in the book. One of the things I also really like is looking at events in history not from the perspective of just kings and queens and lords, but from the perspective of the people on the ground, the local people. And here, King Edward built this abbey on a virgin site. How did it affect the locals? And one of the big aspects of the book is that it affected them enormously. One of the things that this book talks a lot about is this interaction between the Norman Abbey and the Saxon village, and villages, in fact, not just Hertford, that surround the abbey. When King Edward established this abbey, he gave it rights that had been given to other people before. Some he took away from other Norman lords, like the salt works at Hertford, for example, and others he took away from the people themselves who were free Saxons and turned them into villains. I don't want to give away too much of the book, but that was a significant feature that affected the relationship between the Saxon villages and the Saxons in these villages and the abbey, to whom they now owed obligations they'd never owed before. Behind me is something called the Abbey Pool. It's likely, if it existed in the Middle Ages, that it was the holding pond for the Abbey Mill. I also delved a lot into how my main characters, who are Welsh, Rhys and Catrin, felt about this act of Edward to melt down the seal of their prince. It's a symbol of their prince, and give it to an English abbey. Herald will be available at all retailers worldwide in ebook and paperback on the 19th of April, 2023, coming soon to audio. And as you're reading along, if you pick up the book and you find yourself wondering again about the geography or the layout of where the characters are traveling to the landscape, come back to this video and have another look. Thanks for watching my video. You can click on the playlist or subscribe to my channel to see more. There'll be a new video next week. If you want to check out my books, click on the link to my webpage.